very, very good start. Small step, but at least they're trying to repair some of the wrongs. And on a from a social benefits perspective, it is as good a step as any to take and as good a decision as any to make by the church. 200 years, glorious history. What about its present? And what about its future? That's what I'm most concerned about. I want to thank Father Sean Major Campbell and thank Reverend Professor Patrick Bryan for speaking with me today. And thank you for watching. I make way for the ladies of the news, TK and Curly.
Golden years with a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
I am death.
Ready, baby?
Ward off death. Obey the road code.
a message from the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
Entrepreneurial Partners Limited, in association with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, present another highly anticipated Realign Business and Investment Conference. Join us at the AC Hotel Kingston on July 23, 2024, and let's rewrite the future of business together. This year's theme is Removing the Barriers, Bringing Together Investors and Entrepreneurs. Hear from Dr. Marlene Street Forrest, the Honorable Michael Lee Chin, Mr. David Mullings, the Honorable Talia Lynn, and Mr. Anton Edmonds. Register online at entrepreneurs.com/realign or call 876-286-0501.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, IC chairman in the hot seat over comment on shooting incident. Global tech outrage disrupts Jamaica. Government earmarks $700 million for generators. Also this evening, study finds depression rampant within JCF ranks. In the business report, new president and CEO for JPS. And in sports, maiden test century for Kevin Hodge.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm TK Dawkins.
And I'm Curlin Brown. It's Friday, July 19, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. The Senate President Tom Tavares Fenson is urging the Integrity Commission to reconsider its recent remarks about the security forces' handling of the high-profile matter involving the Director of Corruption Prevention.
With new developments and significant implications for both the Commission and law enforcement, let's turn to Ramon Gordon for the latest.
Senate President Tom Tavares Fenson is calling for the Integrity Commission to withdraw its seeming rebuke of the security forces over their handling of the suspected shooting and robbery of the IC's Director of Corruption Prevention. At a digital media briefing earlier this week, Deputy Police Commissioner in charge of crime, Fitzbailey, said the alleged victim has been reluctant to cooperate, citing safety concerns.
Whilst we are aware of the incident and we have sought to appreciate the complaint, to this date, based on the information I got from our investigator, the complainant has not given a statement. He refused from giving the statement under the pretext that he is afraid.
Before that update, IC Chair Justice Seymour Panton had, in the Integrity Commission's 2023-2024 annual report, seemingly implied that the police were negligent. Vincent read an extract from the statement on Friday.
I imagine that investigations are taking place. However, neither the Director nor the Commission has received any update on the incident. The clear inference from what Mr. Justice Panton says is that the police were negligent in their duty. It is clear to me, or I suspect, that Mr. Justice Panton could not have been aware of the present situation.
Vincent considers the charge unfortunate, especially following the most recent update from the island's constabulary.
I expect that the Integrity Commission will therefore provide for the record of the Parliament an addendum as it relates to this particular incident, because the comment by Mr. Justice Panton casts a shadow on the investigation by the police officer.
Meanwhile, security forces say investigations into the matter have stalled due to the lack of victim cooperation.
We can't proceed or progress an investigation without a formal complaint. So we want to appeal to the individual who was injured to make himself available to be interviewed and to give the police a statement so they can progress the investigation.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
The world was brought to a halt in some sense on Friday after US-based cybersecurity giant CrowdStrike encountered a system error. Numerous sectors, including health, finance and travel, were reduced to manual service or were forced shut after the software malfunctioned. A regional cybersecurity expert and IT analyst cautions the time to act is now to limit the effect of any future crisis. With more, here's Nika Lewis.
Global headlines heralded the incident that sent several countries into panic. U.S. media report the tech failure the largest in history. Experts say the Texas-based company and partners of Microsoft, CrowdStrike, encountered a system issue that left many users, namely large sectors, without service. According to Reuters, the company's popular Falcon sensor software is causing Microsoft Windows to crash and display a blue screen, known informally as the blue screen of death. Back home in the Caribbean, experts were locked into meetings applying the necessary solutions to return to normality. Trinidad-based expert Shivamti Luxing uncoded the impact of the crash.
A lot of money is going to be lost through angry persons. I'm sure persons will want to sue CrowdStrike as well as any other vendors that may actually represent CrowdStrike and within that grasp, because they're supposed to provide a service in terms of cybersecurity. It's not supposed to escalate to a point like this. They're supposed to obviously test their updates before rolling out. That's a precautionary measure you need to do when doing something like this. At the end of the day, you need to have all your P's and Q's in check, and you're supposed to have something in place for business continuity in case of something does go wrong, which is what went wrong.
But he's also concerned about the magnitude of the crash and the blow dealt the region, adding the way forward will require resilience building.
And to go and outsource our software to any large corporation that we think that could get the job done. We don't invest in our own persons or our own cybersecurity solutions and develop it to suit. If we start doing that, we could have that type of business continuity going on. We could have the specialists here. We could have all these things happening and the support to do that.
Speaking on CVM News at noon, T. Luxing reasons it will take some time for the world to recover from this crash. He, however, shared a solution to users affected. Meantime, in Jamaica, airports reported delays in flights and flight cancellations. There were hits to the banking and finance sector, with many locals unable to access their accounts or do wire transfers. The Prime Minister issued a statement echoing what the company said, that it's neither a cyber attack nor a security event. The Prime Minister notes the Jamaica Cyber Incident Response Team and MOCA were partnering to mitigate the effect. He also notes Linux and Mac users were unaffected. He also cautioned against use of malicious URL posing as options to fix the error, adding only legitimate options should be considered. Nika Lewis, CVM News.
Water supply has been restored to most of the island. However, some places in the hardest hit areas present unique challenges. But the government says it's undeterred, eyeing a bold plan to enhance water resilience. Ramon Gordon has more.
At least 90% of National Water Commission NWC customers have had their water supply restored. That's the latest from Senator Matthew Samuda, Minister without portfolio with responsibility for same. In an update Friday, Samuda revealed that the remaining 10% present unique challenges.
The challenge you have is that last 10% is the most difficult to service in the best of times. So post-hurricane it is particularly challenging. That last 10% uses approximately 40% of your pumps because of how scattered our development has been as a nation post-independence.
Power has been restored to water pumps serving all hospitals and infirmaries. The system supplying the Mandeville Hospital is now fully operational. But 2 major systems are still without JPS power.
River and the Bogue systems in St. Anne, because St. Anne was the third worst impacted in terms of impact to its energy grid. 79% of the grid was damaged in that area, which impacts 2 of your major systems, which impact water supply from mid-St. Mary to a section of Trelawney.
The government has so far turned to alternating generators to ensure communities that have been without water for several weeks can get a few days to refill. But Samuda's contemplating an even better solution.
The long-term fix will require a significant investment into generators to support our over 700 pumps. The first 50 we will target coming out of this storm, and we are in the process of procuring those, will cost approximately $750 million.
In the interim, the DOJ hasn't ruled out water trucking.
The challenge you have with truck availability at this stage is that those private truckers who own their own resource are able to get paid upfront in cash by many citizens who are out of that space, so they're not as available to either the parish councils or to NWC in times of crisis. This is why we have prioritized the purchase of an additional 8 trucks, which was in procurement prior to the storm and should be here soon. This is why we'll continue to build out our resilience measures.
Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
Now, the Jamaica Public Service, the JPS, continues to come under immense pressure, and that could be the position for some time, especially after the utility company issued a statement regarding billing. Customers are being informed their bills for the June to July period will be estimated and may not reflect their most recent usage. According to JPS, this is due to service disruptions since the hurricane. The company explains it will arrive at an estimate by averaging the customer's last 3 readings. Customers are being asked to contact the company through the various phone numbers or via its app. Now, when CVM News contacted Corporate Communications Director Winsome Callum, she advised the company has given all the information in the statement. Stay with us for more to come here on CVM News at 7, right after this.
Really good, but I'm really hungry. Can we get some juicy patties?
Sure we can. I never see a boil up patty like you.
Hey son, you good?
No, Dad, I'm starving. Can we get some juicy patties?
Celebrating over 40 years of everyday moments.
Welcome back to CVM News at 7. Thanks for staying with us. A recent study among members of the police force has found that most of them are depressed, some even clinically diagnosed. This information has left one researcher concerned about the impact on how officers could serve and protect. Here's Trisha Gay Kelly with the findings.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF's mission to serve and protect may be in jeopardy after a study conducted by researchers including Dr. Paul Bourne revealed that majority of the force suffers from depression. 32% of males in the force indicated some level of depression, while 72% of females indicated same. This means that the women in the force are twice likely to be depressed than their male counterparts. Dr. Bourne says this data could explain why some officers react to matters the way they do.
This means a whole lot. But what we can impute from that is based on the behavior of some police officers that we are seeing out there on the street with the public. Now we can sort of understand why a number of the officers are behaving as they are.
Dr. Bourne, who works alongside JCF members, has observed that their duties are far beyond that of the average Jamaican.
About 12% of officers in Jamaica, police officers that is, are at a moderately to a high level of depression. And 6% of them are what is called clinically depressed individuals, which means they are the ones who should be on medication and getting treatment from their doctors.
But this has left the researchers concerned as the police have access to dangerous weapons. And if a member of the force is triggered, the impact of this depression could pose a threat not only to him or her, but anyone nearby.
Police officers arbitrarily having guns in their hand at a stage when they are depressed. So this now means that what we should be doing now is assessing all the officers, particularly now within the context of what our findings are saying. And if it is that we find out that officers are depressed, particularly clinically depressed, these officers should be taken off frontline duty and taken off frontline duty now.
The JCF has approximately 12,000 members. Of that number, a little over 1,000 members form the research sample. Dr. Bourne is adamant assessment must begin now. Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
A newly developed drug out of Cuba is set to give easier and more affordable access to cancer care patients right here in Jamaica. With more details on that update, here's Adrian Williams.
Approximately 1 in 5 people develop cancer in their lifetimes. The treatments available can dig into patients' and family members' pockets, often leading to considerable debt. New CEO for Jackden Pharma and Medical Services, Dr. Curdell Espinoza Campbell, with a wealth of healthcare industry knowledge in Jamaica, is seeking to utilize newly developed drugs to help reduce some of that cost.
With the newly developed drugs coming out of Cuba, we'll be able to focus and strategically align our treatment plans to ensure that we have a cure for most of our cancers.
In 2023 alone, the global spend on oncology treatments for cancer exceeded $200 billion.
The strategic direction would be to making it cost effective. We have brought on some of the best consultants from Cuba to ensure that the healthcare delivery is done in a very precise manner using the top drugs. So we're able to shave the cost and cut the cost of the drugs and the treatment and the post-care that is necessary for our patients.
She also says the mental health of patients is important, and Jackden's formula will include a holistic approach to the cancer care process. But just what are these drugs people will have access to, and when will the services be available to the public?
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet. Suffice it to say, we will be leading the technology and the technological advances as it relates to cancer care here in Jamaica and in the wider Caribbean. We hope to open this facility in the next 2 to 3 months, pending the necessary approvals from the different agencies. But I want to appeal to Jamaicans that once the service is opened, we invite you to come and share in our experience for good health care.
The company will also be offering affordable dialysis treatment along with other medical services.
We will be the cheapest, most affordable, most effective healthcare provider in Jamaica.
Adrian Williams for CVM News.
Our business segment is next. Stay with us.
See it? Want it? Get it at Coors with up to 30% off furniture and electronics. Get a free soundbar with the purchase of a 75-inch TCL Smart TV. Purchase a Blair Lounge set on credit and get a free Samsung Smart TV. Enjoy the games with smart TVs starting at $22,999, lounge pieces starting at $25,499, and Apple iPhones starting at $79,999. Shop now, pay later. Get ready for the games with Coors. Bringing value home. Offers end July 31. Conditions apply.
Back now to the business segment with Andrew Laidley.
Good evening and welcome to the Business Report. I'm Andrew Laidley. The Jamaica Public Service JPS Board of Directors has appointed Hugh Grant as its new President and Chief Executive Officer. Now, the appointment takes effect on August 1. Hugh Grant has more than 25 years of experience in the utility business with extensive industry knowledge across the generation, transmission, and distribution sectors of the industry. He joins JPS from Consolidated Edison Company, the energy company that serves the 10 million people of New York and Westchester in the United States. Now, JPS Chairman Damian Obiglio said Grant brings a solid combination of technical and leadership experience to the position. It's time now for this week's edition of Feel Good Finances. The Burrito Foundation's commitment to empowering communities and shaping a brighter future for young minds is nothing short of inspiring. Led by Executive Director Tankita Shantz Wilson, the foundation is consistently transformative.
Burrito Foundation has been contributing to community development and, by extension, national development for over 2 decades. We expanded our work quite recently as the Cornerstone Burrito group grew. So did our outreach and our support to the communities. So we have 3 main pillars: education and youth development, entrepreneurship, and health and well-being. So we try to be very targeted in our work.
Reflecting on the significant investments made so far, Wilson emphasized the foundation's strategic approach to nurturing talent and fostering growth.
It's quite a bit of money, quite a bit of funds, right? So our scholarship program would have been close to about 20 million over the last couple of years. But this sort of investment that went into the earlier programs, in the numeracy and literacy program, I think it's just immeasurable because that stays with the teachers. That does not leave, they said, there's a saying about your education will never decay. And so they're properly resourced to be able to deliver that training and that education to our children.
The foundation believes in working hand in hand with like-minded organizations and stakeholders, holding true to the saying that no man is an island.
Nobody can do this kind of work alone, and we all live and share this space called Jamaica, this landmass called Jamaica, and we're proud people. But we are a people. We're not, an individual person. And so every effort requires buy-in and support of others. Some of our collaborators and partners, I spoke about the Early Childhood Commission, very important to us because the work that they're doing is just remarkable, but they need the support and the funding of Corporate Jamaica. So we really value their partnership. The Ministry of Education, obviously, because we are doing scholarships. And so we have to ensure that we are providing support. The support aligns with the need.
At the end of the day, she noted that it is within the company's ethos to give back.
There's an internal ethos that drives the work that Burrito does, both as a corporation and as a company that is that really believes in corporate social responsibility. And that is to make a change and a positive impact in people's lives. They talk about revolutionizing investments and wealth and making it more accessible and, more democratizing the process as well. And it's the same thing for access and equity. We want to ensure that we create spaces and avenues where our communities can grow and thrive And in order to do so, you have to reach individuals.
A cornerstone of the Burrito Foundation's work lies in its transformative initiatives with schools, where the seeds of knowledge, creativity, and opportunity are lovingly nurtured. Up next is your market summary. CVM News at 7 continues after the break.